Okay, and then let me let me fix my mouse size, pointer size real quick, so it's just ginormous and people can see it. And then let me get this. There we go. Good morning. This is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. Important disclaimer and reminder for all traders and investors: this webinar is for educational purposes only, not a recommendation to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options markets. Do not trade with money you can't afford to lose. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed in this channel. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Absolutely consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before ever investing or trading any financial instrument. Okay, so let's get this down. Can everyone see this pointer clearly? Like, is this easier on everyone to see where I'm pointing? First question of the day. Joyce, is that easier when I go, look here? Okay, cool. Thank you, Nate. So, okay, the first thing I want to do is I changed one chart. So see how I have a 15 tick up here? And I have a, okay, so this chart is the same as your 75 cent and your 50 cent. It's a 50 cent 12 tick chart, okay? The reason I have a 50 cent 12 tick chart is it's closer to matching the 15 tick, but what this does is allows these these green dots are volume dots. They tell me when there's volume on the turn, okay? And same with the blue dots, effectively, either strong delta or strong volume. Everyone should have them. If you don't, just let me know. I'll send them back out. I am tired from getting the first part. The last 2 or 3 weeks have been a real stretch to get everything up and running properly. So I'm just taking a little bit of a breather from programming and working with Sean and Bill because we're all tired, I think. One second. Okay, so the way you change that, I'm going to show you right now. You just take a 50 cent chart, right? Hit F5. You change you go to bar period. Change your bar period to 12. Okay. Under your symbol. Oh, hold on. Ah, no, that's right. It's hold on. Let me think this through for a second. This one is 25. Cancel. Hold on. Let me check this one. 10 day limiting. 3. Before I misquote myself. Sorry, you take your 50 cent chart and you leave it at 25 cents. Apologies. I just knocked it down to a 12 tick chart instead of a 15 tick chart. And the reason for that, the reason I did that is I wanted to match it closer to the 15 tick, but I wanted to give me, since we're waiting on the second bar, I wanted it to give me a little bit of a cheat. Okay, I wanted to give me a little bit of cheat. And what happened is when I leave this bar at 15 ticks, it comes in later than the 15 tick chart up here. So that's why I have both of them up there, not to get confused. So I'm basically trying to match this to this. I get more information out of this chart. Even though, see how I have the arrows, the delta pushes, the TnP delta pushes lined up? This one gave me more detail and shows me a better no supply, no demand read along with the volume read all in one chart than the 15 tick does. Okay, so that should not be confusing. All I'm asking you to do, or all I'm asking you to consider, is put a 15 tick chart there and lower it, put 25 cents, lower it to 12 ticks on your footprint chart. You don't have to worry about the numbers inside, and it should give you a more accurate read. And what you want to do is this. Okay, so I went through with Bill. When the market is fast, you want to jump over here or over here, right? And when the market is slow, you want to jump over here for your trades. Like, for example, okay, so let me explain this. For example, let's pretend I've got long this second bar. So that green dot's important for me, if you'll notice when you go through. I haven't really talked much about it because we've been focused on everything else. But that green dot, when you get the second bar, can lead to big rotations. Can. right? But it keeps reprinting until the second bar is printed. So by lowering it to 12, this gives me an early warning. If you look over here, same thing. So one of the things I'd want to do, I haven't discussed this trade, so this is an example of the thinking, not an example of a new trade. Okay, so the thing is I go, oh, I got green dot and bar lift. I get the second print, which means I know this green dot will no longer reprint, right? So now what I'm looking for is if I go long here, first of all, I know my stop can't be below the bottom of this first bar, so it's a tighter overall stop, right? But secondly, I'm now looking, like let me give you an example. If I go over to the 24 tick, I'm going to go, oh, look, I've got an arrow up on a no supply, no demand on my 50-cent chart, right? Often, I find that lifts. In addition, right, so look, I'm basically know that I'm looking at all the same time frame. Each chart is just providing me with a little bit different piece of data. What I want to do eventually is I want to drop this 15 tick chart and use this. So I'm basically back to looking at three charts. This one being fast, this one being slow markets, this one being fast markets, right? And it gives me an easy pivot from one to the other, okay? So I want to rely on this because I know this Keltner channel, even though I can duplicate it over here, I know this Keltner channel and this purple bar with a no supply, no demand at or beyond the fourth channel provides me with gives me a lot of information really quickly, right? I don't want to drop that piece because it's critical to my thinking, right? And I can't replicate that chart on the footprint chart, right? I don't know why. There's not a clear explanation as to why it works one way versus another, right? So that's my reasoning behind these chart levels. Now, what I want to show you that's very, very very important here. Okay, it's very important. Is if you look how the charts laid out yesterday, here I want to show you. This big giant mouse is hard to control, so just bear with me. Okay. So here's an example of yesterday morning. Now, what do we know about yesterday morning? We know that A, buyers were in control. We were never able to get underneath the point of control from Friday. We know the purple bar at the very bottom is very important. Second from the bottom is still good. 3 from the bottom is a pretty tough sell, right? So you have a picture there. 1, 2, 3. So if we go look at each of these, wow, sorry, this is just, I know it's important for the video, so I'm doing it that way. 1, 2, 3. Now I'm just going to roll back to that first one. Right, so the first one took place just after 9 o'clock, and it is right. It's not that one. It's this one. There you go. It's this one right here. So if you'll notice, right, what caused this rise? So I have a number of things I can look at, right? So if you'll look carefully, I know this is hard to see, so I'm going to make it bigger. Green dot with red arrow down. So when I see green dot with red arrow, that's no supply, no demand, and I got a delta, a heavy delta push right on the bottom. I was beyond my purple bar. So if you'll see, the 24 tick did not give me the entry there, right? Because I want to get it stuffed right on the edge, right? I don't have anything out the purple, but once I get this green dot, remember this green dot doesn't stop printing until I get the second bar up. So my entry here is this. And I don't want to use any more than a 12-point stop, so we're just going to back that up to 98. That's the maximum stop. No, that's 99, but that's the maximum stop I would have used. Usually I'm just popping a 10-point stop in there. Okay. Now, why don't I want to only be focused on this chart? Because immediately I get a no supply, no demand, delta thrust, stuffed, arrow down, and 2 bars down that would cause me to take a stop, right? So I need to go over here and I need to ask a few questions, right? The first question is, am I in trend day down? Yes or no? Am I below volume point of control? Am I above an area where I'd want to short? And who's in overall control? So I'm not looking for this to continue to the downside, at least without hitting the top of the channel, right? And that's a simple rule almost everyone can follow. Bottom of the channel, we're looking long. Top of the channel, we're looking short. And if I had gone down long down here anyways, I still would have looked for the top of the channel, which means for my 2610, I have a potential of 2638 for my long, right? And then you'll also notice on the 15 tick here, the 15 tick also gave you the entry. It was just a little bit different look. And that's why I'm offsetting the ticks just slightly, so I can get a view of what I am looking for. So this is my smallest. I've got to control my emotions on this, right? This is really like the last little drop that I'm looking for, and I'm trying to get a cheat on this chart and this chart, right? And I'm just trying to find the entry once I have confirmation. Now, we come to the top of the channel. See the pink bar? I'd be like, oh, double pink, top of the channel. That could be exhaustive. I'm going to reset this. Okay, so as I'm coming up, right, as I'm coming up, you'll notice, let's look at the picture at the top of that channel, right? First of all, on the 15 tick, I get a no supply, no demand with a delta TnP delta thrust, right? 2 bars down, pushes, and that stops. Entry here, you maybe had a scale. Over here you get a delta thrust up, no supply, no demand, 2 bars down, right? And as you push to the right, okay, so 3 very different pictures, right? Nothing over here. On this one you get the delta thrust, the white arrow, 2 bars down, so this is the entry, right? And most people would have been stopped on this because this goes 24 to 36, and most people aren't using an 18-point stop, okay? And then over here, so here you would have ended up entering this trade, right, at roughly 625. Over here you're entering this trade at roughly 628. Right now, this still stopped, right? The difference in the stop out was that over here it was 15 to 18 points. Over here, you either took a very fast scale or you got stopped out. But the important part is, see how you had this green dot? Usually that, if you look where that green dot's appearing, it generates large rotations to the other side, right? So see how that stopped out, but then we apex trapped on this bar, and then we get they didn't make it easy because it hung up here. A no supply, no demand. So first of all, if you took the arrow down on the second bar with a no supply, no demand, I'm talking about this right here. This is a very strong entry, right? It's a very strong entry. And usually that's a 1 bar, no more than 10 points, right? And that obviously rolled you from 28 down to roughly 19. It didn't give you 10 points. It gave you about 9 points, okay? Came all the way back up, right? But this apex trap became very, very important, right? And all I'm looking for is little minute details in each of these that go, oh, I'm looking for the trade. So like yesterday, I'm going through all the little pieces, but I wasn't looking short yesterday. Why? Because we were grinding up, right? We just couldn't roll over. So now we're going to go down, and we're going to come to this next area, which is this little line right here, which is this no supply, no demand. This time I get delta thrust, no supply, no demand. It's the second from the bottom, right? So now I'm going to go look at my charts again, right? So this time I don't get a delta thrust down at the bottom, but I do get this green little dot on the 12 tick. If I can get 2 bars up, I know what? That's likely to roll. It's a really good signal. I think everybody has it. I haven't not distributed this. It may look like a blue dot or a blue dot with a circle, but everyone should have it. If you don't, tell me. I will reorganize it today and send it out this evening so that everyone has it, okay? But that green dot is important, okay? When it pushes down, I can go long here, right? I can go long. Notice I don't get the setup over here because I don't get the green dot, but I get the delta thrust, TnP delta thrust, with a no supply, no demand on the second bar on the 15 tick. And I get nothing over here, right? So now as I come over, how does that unfold? Let's go look. Okay, I'll get it out tonight, Randy. Okay. But you have everything else here, right? And so see over here how, if you look over here, see how nothing's set. This is the bar that's set up. This is the bar that's set up for the long. Right. Yeah. And then this told you they were going to try to lift. It was choppy. So the problem with the choppy from yesterday is that it was so choppy that if you're using the 24 tick, it's gonna hurt you, right? Because the rotation size was like, okay, Joyce, I'll take care of it. I'll send it out to everybody. I think I can. I'll have to circle a bill to make sure we have that programmed, but I'm almost positive we have that programmed. I'll work on it. I know I have it programmed, but I think it's not in a version where I think it's in a version where I can send it out. So I'll go check. Okay. So the problem with the 24 tick yesterday was that the rotation was so wide that it was retracing on the 24 tick, right? And then I'm going to watch it rotate up, right? As it rotates up. So I get the green dot, this down, doesn't break the swing, rolls down, right? Now, here is Randy's trade, right? Randy's already long, right? And this is important because what you just saw was essentially 3 profitable. Oh, is that what our problem is, Bill? Sorry, I'm behind the curve. Thank you, sir. I'll get it. We'll keep working on it. It's been an exhaustive couple of weeks for all of us, so just give us a little bit of breathing room. Not that anyone's pressing me, but I'll get it out, right? So see how this is Randy's trade over here? Doesn't set up here, right? You do get the thrust, and you need the second bar, and that's fine if you want to use the second bar with a 1 bar stop. You get the blue bar up, right? Second bar is the one you need. Again, the 24 tick is big, and you just don't get it over. You just don't get it over here, right? So if you look how that played out, it took forever to finally lift. It did lift, and you got the lift, but you would have been head fake sometimes. That was just a hard lift right there. There's not much you could have done other than it told you it was trying to lift with that purple bar down, but that consolidation sucked. That was 30 minutes of chop in a 20-point range, right? So when you look at it afterwards, if I'd be disingenuous if I said, see, you go long here. It would be disingenuous if I said, go long on this bar or go long on whatever, any of these bars, and I would have said, like, almost none of us would have held for 30 minutes. Like, it's way beyond our window of holding, right? So yesterday was a chop fest. Today will be a little bit different with the Fed chair. I plan to coach my way through the first half hour, and then I plan to let the AC guys into my house, let them start working, and then I'll be back out here to see what's what. But guys, I'm telling you, if you haven't been with me long, when the Fed chair speaks, the trading can be brutal. It can be great or it can be brutal. Okay? It can be great or it can be brutal. Right? It just depends on so anyways, that's my 2 cents. And I don't have anything else to add because I don't even think there's a point here. I'll draw off the chart. I need to fix this mouse real quick. Hold on. Mouse settings. I can't do it with this. Again, I mean, just this constant climb. Hey guys, and by the way, I would encourage y'all to get a Top Step account. More and more people are having accounts go, quote, under review, and it's really feeling pretty scammy at this point. I don't know what's going on over there, but it's really getting frustrating. It's just really getting frustrating with those guys. Okay, that's all I can say. It's not right how they're treating people. It's not right at all, right? And so I'm just letting you know. Hold on one second here. Give me just 1 second, guys. I gotta just check one thing. We're about to fly open. Okay. Let's mark off Globex high, Globex low. Apex, Ian. I'm not saying avoid them. I'm just saying it's sure starting to get fishy. That I am saying. Okay, so I'm just going to mark off the overnight unfair pricing by marking these. Damn. Let me fix this. Here. Again. Sorry. Let's get this right. that's what we look like right now. I'm gonna leave all of that there. That's all good. There's an anomaly here. There's single prints here. I mean, just what a cluster. Balance day, overnight, day session, Globex high, Globex low, trading below Globex high. Got to trade back into 2688. Here, we'll just print this, because that's about where we're right down to, and that puts us about 700 points down, which I doubt we're getting to, so we'll just do that. And then we'll do snipping tool, move, screenshot. Copy, screen. And we roll. So does anyone have any questions over what I said? Most people I heard did okay yesterday. You know, not surprising that we're going up with the Fed chair and all that good stuff, but we'll see, we'll see, we'll see. See that green dot? That 3275 has to print. Just like that 37 has to print over here. But see, on the 24 tick, it's so big that if that second bar printed, excuse me, on the 50 cent, it's so big, if it printed, I would wait for a retrace back down, right? Now, Randy, that doesn't affect your trade, right? You're welcome to run that against that point of control. Again, I'm not doing anything in the first 30 minutes. I'm just not trading probably till 1 o'clock today. So this is all me just yapping away, right? Second arrow up, no supply, no demand on the 24 tick, right? That's where you're looking for a long. It's a big stop on that, down to 20, so 13 points from here, right? So you would put your stop like at 17. You can see you have a tweezer's bottom down there, and you would look for it to lift back up towards 2752. Right over here. Okay. This is what I'm highlighting right here. Tweezer's bottom, volume bar down. That green dot's not going to go away. No supply, no demand with delta thrust. Stop has to go with the low, and I look for the push out and maybe a retest of the high. Right? That's how you put that. Did I explain that well? So I'm trying to coach y'all in real time. Got it. Thank you, sir. That's easier. How's that, Ed? Better? So up here in the upper left-hand corner, it'll say what the chart is. Okay, I'll go through and finish the alterations on all of this, but it'll say what kind of chart we're looking at, right? So this will just be, this is just what it is. That doesn't have to change, but on the footprint it does, so I'll change this one. There you go, 4x4, 12 tick footprint. Okay, so there's a deal here. More and more, what I say to myself is, right, once I have the general concept, like today I want to trade long, right? I want to make sure I'm taking the second bar, not guessing. Like if I'm looking long here, I want to be long this bar, right, against 20, right? That's a 24 tick. So I want to be long like stop 19 on that trade, etc., etc. But I don't want to, what I don't want to do what I don't want to do, right, is what I don't want to do is feel like I'm obligated to trade one way or the other. Try to figure the whole. What am I trying to say? I don't want to figure the whole thing out, right? Like in other words, if I get this arrow down, I know I want to be long here. If I want to see this arrow down, I want to be long here. I want to be stopped out here. Like I want it, whatever chart I'm trading on sequence. Like today, my plan on the 24 tick. I get this up. I want to buy the dip in. My stop has to go down here. I know it does on the 24 tick. I have an example from yesterday. And I want to trade the apex traps. So what would be common to hear from this point is that people feel overwhelmed by the number of options that we have. So this is what you do. I'm going to make it really simple, right? This is for me the easiest way. The most important chart on this in this chart book, most important chart in this chart book is this chart over here. Okay, why? Because I'm looking for the no supply, no demand to occur near, at, or beyond the fourth channel, or to at least give me a clue where I'm looking to flip the chart. It gives me an instant balance on where we are in the market overall, right? So that's number one, right? Number two, and it's an important number two, Okay. Number two is, like for example, see that bar up right there? I want to be long that bar up. I want to stop at 29. I want to be out at wherever, but basically 29 would be my stop on that trade. However that trade ended up working out, that's how I'd want it to go. Okay, if that makes sense. Okay, that's how I want to manage my trade over here. But if you go, hey, that's too fast for me, right? Or I prefer the 15 tick. You're looking for the same things on the 15 tick. I'm looking for the arrow down on the no supply, no demand, or for it to get jammed, enter on the second bar, and then scale out. Because even if you can't figure out direction, you can figure out that piece, right? So for me, if I wanted to short, I wouldn't have shorted this. Why? I want my notes. A, I think it's long. B, we're above prior day's high. C, I think the market's going into what's his face. Hold on a second. Excuse me. Hey. No, I had no idea. I'll be right over. Okay, I'll be right over there. Hey guys, the AC guys got here. I will be back in a minute. Okay.